been hearing that baseball is dead for decades. So, is baseball dead?
Yeah, I mean, look, the baseball's dead narrative is just one of those things. It's like dandelions in your front lawn. You just can't get rid of it. I mean, the fact of the matter is the game's in great shape. We've had attendance increases each of the last 3 years. This will be our fourth for sure. Our viewership was way up last year. We had one of the great World Series of all times, and we introduced a relatively new event, the WBC, that captured the imagination of countries around the world.
Felger and Mazz here from our Town for Tire Studios in Waltham. Mazz alongside with Mark Dondero in for Big Jim. Hi, Dondero.
Good to see you guys.
Rob Manfred asked that's on San Francisco Sports Radio the other day. About the overall health of baseball, and he says it's never been better. The narrative about baseball dying is like dandelions in your front yard, Mazz, which I know you don't have any because you maintain that thing.
Oh, no, I do have a couple, though. They can be persistent every now and then.
So what can I tell you? I think I don't think that was a quote-unquote narrative. I think baseball had real problems in the not-too-distant past that I think that they've gone a long way to addressing. And I would agree with, as we embark on the season tonight, it opens tonight, that baseball's in a really good place. I think it's rebounded nicely the last couple of years. What do you think?
I would agree. Look, I think it's in a better spot. You want me to be pessimistic about it, I'll tell you that there is a looming labor issue on the horizon or a work stoppage on the horizon, but that hasn't happened yet. And so where they are right now, yeah, it's headed in a good direction. Again, for the first time in a while. Most of that is the pitch clock.
Don't you think that the on-field changes, the tweaks that they made to the game have saved it?
Yes, for sure. I mean, it definitely stopped the trend in a bad direction, and I think it flipped it. It started to build again, and that includes getting rid of the shift. I think the big one was the pitch clock, because the biggest problem facing the game was the pace of play. It was way too slow. It took too long, and again, as usual, when the players get too much power, whether it's on the field or off, things start to go sideways. So I think that's what happened. Guys like David Price saying that they could take their time on the mound and the pitch clock could go pound itself.
So this is what we're going to open up the show doing today. State of the game kind of stuff. Obviously, the Red Sox open tomorrow. I listened yesterday, Mazz, and you spent a lot of time on the Red Sox and Red Sox previews, which will obviously entertain and accept and continue today. But I wanted to focus more on sort of the overall state of the game. I think baseball's in a good place. I really do. Before I go forward, Dondero, you want to weigh in?
Yeah, I agree. It's in a good place. I think there's a lot of different reasons. Number one, I think what the Dodgers have been doing has been a big factor. Shohei Ohtani obviously captivating audiences across the world.
So you think the Dodgers are good for baseball?
I do. Okay, I think that's a good thing for the game. It's a big market. They've got a star-studded team. It's annoying what they do. Everybody trying to keep up with them and all the signings and all the star power and all that. Like I just said, I think the Yankees and Dodgers having met in the World Series last year was big. There was that little home run race a few years ago. The best players are winning the MVPs. The other thing I think that has helped baseball, and it has to be said, of the three major sports or the three sports that are on the top there, I honestly think since 2020 they were the least political. And I think that helped baseball.
Oh, interesting point, Mark. Continue.
I think the NBA shoved politics down our throat for a good stretch there. I think the NFL did it too, but the NFL is such a machine. They were able to overcome any damage they might have done or any fans they might have turned off just because they're so big, so popular. The NBA is not. And I think the NBA hurt themselves by being very political for a stretch there. And I don't think baseball got as political. And I think that helped baseball catapult themselves ahead of the NBA right now.
Interesting. I didn't even think of that. I mean, none of it really affects me. Didn't bother me, the politics, but it bothered a lot of people, that is for sure. Certainly, the NBA has been a turnoff to a lot of people. And the NFL stuff and the kneeling and all that stuff, is that sort of what you're referring to? I think that was a turnoff to a lot of people. Baseball didn't have quite the same thing.
Nor did hockey. Hockey didn't have much of it either.
It's a good point. I don't include hockey in the conversation, all due respect to my hockey Christian brethren. We're just a small little niche sport. We're not in the conversation with these other guys. Sorry, we're not. But, Mazz, you're right. But baseball, I think that's an interesting point, Dondero. Okay, so I think it's smaller. I think it's down the list from pace of play. They saved the game. The game was grinding to a halt. It just got absolutely brutal what those games were. And, I jotted it down. Stand by. It was 9-inning and extra inning games were averaging over 3 hours a game for a decade, which is an average, which means we had 4-hour games. We had 4.5-hour playoff games. We had extra inning games that went forever, that didn't stop. You could just play forever and ever and ever. Here's average time a game starting in 2022. Average time a game. I'm sorry, starting in 2014 going to 2022. 307, 304, 308, 304, 310 in 2019, 306, 311 in 2021, 306 in 2022. And then the pitch clock came in. 242, 238, 240 last year. 240. And I looked it up just to, because we complained for years about, it's just, how come you don't, people would always ask, how come you don't like baseball the way you used to? Answer, it's not the same game. It's a totally different game than the game I grew up with. The game I grew up with, the ball was in play, the games moved, striking out was a shameful act, and it's a different game now. So this is all the reference point to, I just go to 1982. It's the year the Brewers made the World Series when I was a 13-year-old boy in Milwaukee, Dondero. Beautiful. Suck it if you don't like that's war, but that's sort of where I go. When I was a kid, what was the game? I said the average length of game last year, Mazz, was 240. You know what it was in 1982?
240?
240. They took it back to my childhood. Big, huge.
Definitely. The game should be played really in about 2.5 hours, which is what it is now.
So that saved the game, in my opinion. And I think it's permeated the entire sport. I think coming off that World Series, that's the best World Series
in a while
I've seen in a long time. That Game 7 was as good and entertaining and gripping of a baseball game as you could have.
Outstanding.
So I just think it is in a good place. Now, it's not where it needs to be. What are still some of the issues? If you had to say, what are the things they need to correct? What are the biggest issues in the game? I got 2. But if you want to go first, go first.
Well, I'll start with strikeouts. Too many strikeouts. I want the ball in play more. It's ridiculous the way, again, this all gets back to analytics and pitching and that sort of crap. But I want to see the ball in play more. There are way too many strikeouts in baseball.
Agreed. Number one issue in the game. The pitch clock sped things up, but all the other tweaks have not really resulted in the game that we had in 1982. It's played at the same pace, but it's not the same game. The ball is still not in play. I have a story for you I'm going to read you later. Doubles and triples are at an all-time low. They've tried all sorts of different things. They banned the shift. They widened made bigger the bases. The actual bases themselves are bigger, so the distance between first and second is less. You thought that would increase steals, which I think it has, Mazz, right?
Definitely, there's been more running for sure.
Steals are up and running is greater, but that hasn't led to more balls in play. Strikeouts keep going up and up and up, and to me, that's the number one issue in the game, is strikeouts / balls in play. They still got to figure that out. And I think that it's time to have some more stringent illegal defense rules. Again, they have no shifts, so they banned that, but that hasn't really worked because you know why? That second baseman with the left-handed batter, with the right-handed batter or the shortstop with the left-handed batter still lines up over second base.
Pretty much.
The ground ball through the box, Mazz? Isn't that what he used to say, through the box?
Yep, weakest part of the defense, right up the middle.
You used to be able to single up the middle. You cannot single up the middle anymore.
Rarely happens.
And so I propose a trapezoid behind second base like they have behind the net in the NHL, and you cannot line up behind the second base bag. I think they need to bring the outfielders in. Again, I'll read you the story coming up, but they used to call it, Dondero, a no doubles defense. Now that is a base defense in baseball. And as a result, doubles and triples are at an all-time low. We need to draw a line 10 feet.
The outfield's a big one.
10 feet in front of the warning track, and you are not allowed to line up there. And if you cheat, we're going to throw you out of the game. I'm making that up, but you know what I mean. So I think that's on field. That's the number one thing.
That's a big one.
Do you want to me is just as important, if not more? But Dondero, you want to go first before I give you my other one?
Well, I was just going to say, I think I'm not against. I kind of like that up the middle idea. I don't want to touch outfielders. I don't think you could maneuver and we've seen players like Jarren Duran take advantage of that. And if more guys tried to do, he'll turn singles, which would have been a single back in the day, into a double. So he's adjusted. I think they have to dial the analytics way back, and I think that will help. Because
how do you dial the analytics way back?
Get them out. Get the people that
you change
culture.
You change no.
Okay, fine.
What? You're not
fine. You change the rules so you can get. I just think some of this launch angle stuff that contributes to the lack of balls in play because everybody's trying to,
of course,
launch, hit the home runs or get the ball in the air instead of hitting the ground balls. It used to be base hits and getting guys on base. So if you dial all that back, maybe some of the other stuff comes back around.
They got to keep trying. They got to keep going, Mazz. They can't just stop at the pitch clock. They have to figure out how to get the ball in play and those strikeouts down.
Yes, look, and I think with regard to launch angle, the toothpaste is out of the tube. I don't know how you fix that one. So somehow you got to find a way to mitigate pitching. And Dondero, I'm totally against you on the outfielders. You got to do something. It's ridiculous. All these balls are. Duran can run. Mm-hmm. Most guys in the game can't, or not like him. So how many guys can really stretch a ball in the gap and do extra base hits? There aren't a ton of them. The majority can't. So you've got to litigate it out. You've got to put rules in place. I felt this way about the shift. Everyone used to say, well, hit the ball the other way. Bunt. You think these jackasses can do that?
Against a guy throwing 99 with vicious spin rate, because the way they coach these guys now is max velocity, max everything, and just throw your arm out and get Tommy John, and we'll see you in 2 years?
I've come to the conclusion.
How do you go the other way when it's 99 on the black with a massive spin rate?
Right, and none of these guys would try bunting for a hit. That doesn't happen anymore. So I've come to the conclusion, if you leave it in the hands of the players, they'll do nothing about it. Zero. So you got to put rules in play.
Okay, number one issue in the game, I think 1A, maybe more important than that. Where's the game on tonight? How do I catch the game? Where's the game, Dondero? Do you know?
Netflix.
Oh, Netflix. Now Netflix? When's the game tomorrow? Oh, it's on my effing app. My NESN 360 app, which costs me $240 a year. Just for that. Just for the net, $240 for the NESN 360. That wretched, atrocious product. When's the game Friday? Oh, they don't have one. If they were playing Friday, when's that? Is that Apple TV?
I believe that's you're getting peacocked.
Or is that Peacock? Well, no. When's Sunday Night Baseball? Or what? No, where do I catch the Sunday night game?
Oh, that's Peacock.
That's ESPN, right? Oh, no, that's right. ESPN backed out. Now that's NBC/Peacock. Do you know there's a game on Saturday, or maybe it's Sunday mornings? You know what that's on? That's on Roku, right?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, there's a... Oh, no, I think that might be on the cock as well. That might be on Peacock as well. I'm not sure. And how much does that cost? Maybe this is the biggest issue facing the game now. How do I get it? Where is it? What channel is it on? Oh, it's not on a channel. What service? Oh, now I have to download. Now I have to pay for that. Never mind, figure out how to get on and all of that. Trying to find the game. Or if you're someone like me who is also a fan of an out-of-market team and does the MLB TV app, which is now on
ESPN.
I made the mistake of trying to call them yesterday. I'll give you details on that conversation coming up. Where's the game? How do I get the game? Huge issue in the sport. I think in sports, it's becoming a huge issue. How do I get the game? What's it on? How much is that? What's my password? I got to call my kid in Topeka and get the password. Authenticate. No, Dad, hold on. You got to just... Mom, no, George, just wait. I got to get you the password to authenticate to get the baseball game on. Is it Apple TV or Apple TV Plus? Where's the game on tonight again? Netflix. The game's on Netflix tonight because nothing, Mazz, says baseball like Netflix.
That's the first thing I think of.
If you're a New York, it's the Yankees and Giants. If you're a longtime New York Yankees fan. It was always PIX. Was that the local
right?
Very
good
network that did it over the air, and then it was the Yes Network. No. Tonight it's Netflix. Friday night, I think it's Apple TV Plus. Sunday, it's No, I think it's now Peacock or NBC. Or I was looking today, NBCSN, NBC Sports Network. That's back. I thought they killed that off. Huge issue in the game. Huge issue in sports.
Massive.
But baseball, unlike any other.
I think off the field, it might be one of the top things facing them. It might be number one.
Okay. Off and running. Your thoughts on the state of the game after these words. Whee! Goalie fight.
Felger.
Whee! Look at the goalie fight.
Whoa.
Mazz.
Oh, my God.
Murray.
He sucks in the playoffs.
That's great. No.
98.5.
Wonderful. Good.
The Sports Hub.
Rob, tell us, how did Major League Baseball make a deal with Netflix? How can you tell fans this is a good thing for baseball if some fans say, wait, I don't have Netflix? So tell us the history here and why this is good for baseball.
Well, I think that it's important to understand that we are in a media situation that's really disrupted. The way that we've traditionally delivered games, really challenged right now. Netflix provides us an opportunity to experiment with a new partner, a partner that has great international reach, a partner that's a platform where young people go on a regular basis. And we think that Netflix will be an important part of baseball's future.
Did you say challenged, that there's a challenge to get games broadcast? Is that what you said?
No, the environment is challenged. That the traditional RSN model is certainly challenged.
Baseball has some things that were beyond its control that are a problem, and that is the traditional cable model and the regional sports networks that covered these games are going out of business.
Right. It's basically blown up on them.
I mean, isn't there like 13 networks?
I think it's more now. I think it's 15. It's half the majors.
That went belly up. Like they were owned by, maybe it was the old Fox Sports Network, and then it became like Sinclair, and then FanDuel bought it, and now it's
Bally's was in there.
Marquee Sports, whatever. Right, Bally's, exactly. I've lost track. But that grouping of networks is like baseball's had to take over local broadcast. So that, I'll give them a little bit of a break there. I mean, they got to figure something out. Manfred, all these rights deals, which are just insane when I go through them, they all expire in 2028. Manfred has said he is going to look to sell the entire Major League slate of games, 2,700 games or whatever, every team, every game, to one outlet, and see if he can do that. And like you would say, well, why would the Yankees and the Dodgers agree to that when their individual, deals are so lucrative? Why would they share with the Pittsburgh Pirates? I don't know. But Manfred claims he has all 30 teams on board.
Yeah, that's their goal. I mean, that's their goal, to centralize the whole thing. Now, what I don't know is whether that will be just the digital product. In other words,
yeah.
So they will have, in other words, MLB, let's just use the Red Sox and NESN. It's easy. They would take the Red Sox in. They'd be able to broadcast Red Sox games. If you live locally, you'd still be able to watch it on NESN. And if you don't have NESN, but you have you're on YouTube TV, you wouldn't be blacked out in this area anymore.
Just saying, it's a big problem. Where's the game? How do I get it? How much is that? That's a big problem, especially because it's still an older demographic. Me and older. We don't want to dick around on the internet. But anyway, that's where it's at. All right, to your phones, as promised. Jimmy and Malden. Go ahead, Jimmy.
I agree with you with the state of baseball, but it could be just as good. It has improved. It could be even better. They should maybe work on slowing down the pitches, maybe increase on bunting.
I don't know how you legislate that, Jimmy, but slowing down the pitchers, do you lower the mound, move it back? These ideas they've kicked around about you lose the DH if your starter comes out before the fifth inning. You lose your DH, and that's going to put a premium on guys that can throw innings versus strikeouts. reintroduce that to the game. I'm for all of it. I think they should be tinkering with all of it.
Definitely. Look, I'd even look at making the bats bigger. And when I say bigger, fatter. So contact is more likely.
I'm with you.
I would think about that. There's got to be a way to make a fatter bat that's the same weight.
Carl in New Jersey. Yes, Carl.
GLP-1s.
Gentlemen, so I completely agree. Baseball's going in the right direction. I think Rob Manfred has done a great job with the pitch clock, like you said. I also like the runner on second base rule because no one wants to watch an 18-inning game in April. Overall, he's just a breath of fresh air compared to a guy like Adam Silver, who's done nothing but stupid things like the play-in tournament, in-season tournament, allowing players to cry and flop all the time, not to mention barely punishing Draymond, calling the league a highlight sport. So I was wondering if you agree with me that Adam Silver is by far the worst commissioner in sports history.
Oh, I just disagree strongly.
Me too.
And that play-in thing, how does that hurt the game? What has that done? If you don't like it, just ignore it. It's easy to ignore. They're just regular season games, except for one.
No, it doesn't hurt the league at all.
I mean, and it's going to be here in 20 years.
I mean, you might not like it.
Moneymaker.
Yeah, like you said, you might not like it, you might not watch it, but it hasn't hurt them.
How does it hurt it? Manfred, I don't know. I mean, listen, he realized and has been wanting to affect these changes for a long time, so they finally got the players to agree. Whoever was in charge of that, they deserve the credit. If that's Manfred, great. The labor attorneys, whatever. You tell me. Whatever it took to get those players to the table and give away the right to veto rule changes, that saved the game. Took it out of the hands of those a-holes. And I say that about the players. When it came to the sport, you guys, the players, were a bunch of a-holes. You stood in the way of the progress of your sport because you were more concerned about your own personal thing, or you're just being stubborn, or you just didn't want to give in because you just didn't want to give in. And what the only thing more amazing than how it's all worked is how badly people fought against it. Like,
I'm with you on that one.
I mean, even the Ghost Runner thing. It's like it saved the game. And you know that's an abomination. That's bastardizing the thing. They should bring it in the playoffs is what they should do. So it's just amazing. Listen to all the people that thought all this stuff would ruin the game. It saved the game. All of it.
The clock especially.
David in Brockton for Dondero. Yes, David.
Hey, man. Good afternoon. I was just, when Dondero mentioned that, the NBA has put too much emphasis on political stuff, what political stuff exactly are you referring to?
Specifically, I'm talking about the messages on the back of the jerseys, on the courts, all the things that they've done, the rhetoric around different issues globally. It's been, I think, a turnoff for a lot of fans, and I don't think baseball has gotten as involved. The only thing I could think of in baseball was there was some litigation that came down in Georgia back in 2021. They moved the All-Star game to Colorado. And I don't even think Major League Baseball really wanted to do that, but they kind of caved to the pressure. I just don't think they were as involved in some of the things that become divisive. And I think that opened people's eyes back up to baseball. And I think that was a big, not a little reason, a big reason why they've sort of catapulted themselves.
I think it's a little reason.
I think it's a big reason.
I don't. Okay. I think people want to be political, get political, and they get political about everything. The game was boring. The game had ground to a halt. It took too long to play the effing thing. And that's why people watch or don't watch. People who are just want to bitch about politics are going to bitch about politics either way. I think it's an excuse.
Can I give you another small one?
But I do think to a lot of middle America that the NBA and NFL is a kind of a turnoff. But it doesn't prevent people from watching the NFL because it's entertaining. So whether you were aggravated by these leagues as a fan or not, it's just an excuse. You either find the sport interesting or you don't. And if you disagree with the politics, you still watch it. You didn't stop watching the NFL. Go ahead.
No, sorry. The quality of the product in the NFL was terrific. Still is. So people will, look past a lot of things. That part of it I agree with.
I'll just say, I think, to your point, it's more about why the Major League Baseball product has seemingly overtaken the NBA right now. Not as much why it's become more popular. I think their changes has added to the popularity. Another small one, this might sound ridiculous. Bat flips. I feel like bat flips have gone to another level. And I think people think that's cool. I think the younger kids...
They're allowing more celebrations and more
celebrate, more explosive bat flips. You see it in college. You see it on Twitter, online. That's not the way they used to do it 20 years ago in the 90s. Cool is good. And a lot of those people find entertaining and cool, and I think it's gone to another level. I think that helps.
I think baseball has always been a bigger sport than basketball. It wasn't that long ago that it was our national pastime. And I think that the way the game was played, Mark, was a turnoff to a lot of people. You just couldn't sit there and 3.5 hours a night to watch you step out of the box and adjust your batting gloves. I mean, this is stupid.
And your cup.
Okay.
Grab your package.
I just think, right.
Sniff your finger.
How many times? I'm going to spend 3 hours and 45 minutes. Are you freaking grabbing your package and then changing pitchers again for one batter? But what I think happened in the last 3 years, I think a lot of baseball fans have come back because I can now watch this again. I can digest this is what I think happened. So I just think they tapped back into the baseball fan.
They definitely did. I mean, again, that whole thing with the pitch clock. Look, this all goes down to taking the rules away from the players. Like, to me, don't let the players get involved in the rules. In every other sport, they make the rules and the players adjust.
The whole thing. I mean, you mocked us. When we talked about having the electronic signs. Like I said 5 years ago, the stuff with the fingers in the crotch trying to call the pitch is archaic. Like, enough with this. Is there a way to get... and we ran promos. Do. We finally have a little Marvin thing out there. Like a Merlin, whatever. You know what I mean? Like a little color-coded thing out there to tell you fastball or off-speed pitch or whatever.
Close encounters.
But it wasn't all that complicated. We foretold this thing. In football, they've been radioing the plays forever. Why do that? Why is the guy, the catcher, with the futzing with his fingers down there?
I think he just wanted to scratch himself.
Get an earpiece in the pitcher and let's go.
Do a little diddling down there.
So it's not just the pitch clock. It's now the second guy on second base is peeking in, and now he's turning his head to the right and coughing to the left to try and locate pitches. Now the pitcher steps off and glares at him. Now the batter steps out and grabs his crotch and adjusts his batting gloves. And now we're 2-1. 2-1 count in the second inning of a game in May, 1 of 162, and that drove people away from the effing game. What am I watching?
With good reason.
Get the pitch call in the guy's ear, put a pitch clock on the field, quit dicking around, and let's go. Throw the ball. God, it wasn't that complicated. I'm sorry, it wasn't politics, Mark. It was that drove away the vast majority of people. Some angry old guy watching Fox News. I hate the NBA. Well, you weren't that interested to begin with. Go back and watch the O'Reilly Factor or whatever you were watching. You didn't care in the first place. You just want to bitch.
Those 3 hour and 10-minute games were insufferable.
I mean,
it was like
3 hour and 10. They were even longer.
It was comical.
Right, and that was a regular season, remember.
Yeah.
The playoffs were like 3:45.
It was comical, those games. And so now they're throwing the ball, and we gotten rid of all that sign stealing, all the dicking around at second base, and stepping out and all of that. Good. Now, can we just do that with some contact? We just need a little more contact.
Definitely.
I like the bat idea. Get the barrel to be a little bit bigger. You won't even notice it.
Fatter
more balls
bat.
in play.
Fatter bat.
Fine with me. Or fatter bat, fatter ball, reduced mound, move it back, fatter pitchers. I don't care.
Totally.
But make some contact. Here's Dondero with an update. We're right back. Sean and Lawrence. Go, Sean.
You keep saying, I didn't actually watch the game, whether it's Patriots, Celtics, Bruins, whatever. Isn't your job as a talk show host to actually watch sports?
So I would say my job is to get you to listen.
That is the job.
Mission accomplished.
Take this job and shove. Felger and Mazz. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Right now it looks fantastic, but it was a tough contract as you're sort of paying for what you think he can be, which is exactly what he was. And really, to be honest with you, it's a nice little team-friendly deal, given how great he is.
Got our first ABS challenge of the day. ABS is powered by T-Mobile. And we're told we call on the field stands.
Call stands, Boston retains the challenge.
That means, if I have this correctly, that there was a technical issue there. They couldn't get the call. So whatever was called on the field stands. And you don't lose the challenge. Get that?
Well, that'll be tricky. It doesn't happen very often at all.
It's the first time I've seen it.
And first time here in camp for us, but even in the minor leagues, it's something that really didn't occur too often.
And if that happens, as it did, I'm told that's a one-off. That means the equipment, everything is working. It just had a malfunction there. You could have a game where it's not working at all, and they will tell you in advance, we are not using ABS challenge today until we get it fixed.
The Major League Baseball opener tonight on Netflix with ABS robo umps challenges. Okay, this I'm out on. As you can already tell by my tone, and if you listen to me over the years, you know how I feel about replay and turning it over to bots and automation and all of this. I'm against ABS. Dondero, what say you?
I mean, I'm just thinking, is that going to help speed the game up? I'm for the ABS, and I think that it's a good thing to have in baseball.
I told you I like it. I saw it in the minor leagues a few years ago, and I was intrigued because it was quick. It worked fast. Now, at the time, I did not experience what just happened in the game that we played, where all of a sudden they went to the thing and they couldn't use it. That's kind of annoying. So if that happens with any regularity, pull the plug on the thing and just keep going. So to your point, do you need it? No, you don't. You don't need it.
When we're talking about problems in the game, to me, umpiring is not a problem in the game. It's not. And a inconsistent strike zone is not a problem in the game. To me, it's not. It doesn't impact my viewership as a casual fan, as a neutral fan, or a fan of my team. I just accept that the umpiring is imperfect. I worry about the slippery slope of ABS. Now, it doesn't take that long in a vacuum. I mean, each challenge is what, Mazz, like 10 seconds?
Yeah, I would say right around there.
But I just worry that you start there, and then what's the next thing? So, Rob Manfred was asked in this interview I was listening to of him on San Francisco Sports Radio about why not just go robo-ump all the time. And he said the technology is definitely there to do it. Just have every ball and strike be on the ABS system. And he says we didn't do it because of the wishes of our players and taking a skilled player off the field. You know what he's referring to there?
Catcher?
The catcher and the pitch framing, which kind of got me to want to have robo-umps because I hate what's become of pitch framing.
I know, it's annoying as hell.
It's got, like everything in baseball.
And honestly, I've never been able to believe that the umpires can fall for it, but keep going.
Well, I just think it's like everything in baseball, they've taken it too far. It used to be a catcher could just sort of slight a nice subtle sort of movement of the glove to try and buy a call on the corner. Now it's gotten ridiculous. Now they're teaching the catchers to get up in the box because that helps you frame the pitch and fool the umpire. Well, now all these catchers are getting their gloves whacked. How many catchers interference did the Red Sox have last year?
I want to say it was like 7 or 8, maybe more, maybe a dozen.
So that all started with the analysts, which makes me want to say, you know what? F you, dorks. We're going to have it all called by the robots. Your catcher can dick around as much as he wants. He can try and buy the call and fake do cartwheels back there. It doesn't matter where your catcher ends up moving his glove because the robot's already on it. So that makes me want to have full robots, Mazz.
Sure.
Because I hate what's become of the pitch framing. It's just like everything. It's gone too far. But what can I tell you? At the end of the day, I don't need more automation. I need less. I am worried about the beautiful pace of play and game times that we have now. I gave you before the average length of game. This includes extra inning games, by the way. The last 3 years, it's starting in 2023, 242, 238, 240. The average 9-inning game was 239, 236, 238.
Tremendous.
Is there a way to trim another 5 minutes off of that?
Sure.
And I'm just worrying that the ABS is going to add 5 and not trim 5. You got to stay on it because these a-holes that play the game do not care about you. They care about their cake. And so they're going to take their sweet time if you let them. And they're going to abuse this ABS thing. It's going to get just like all replay. I mean, I'm right. I've been telling you this for years. It just keeps getting worse. I feel for you people who watch these ridiculous college basketball games. How much time do they spend over there at the effing desk?
Brutal.
It keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So, yeah, you can start with a simple little 10-second challenge of a pitch and tap your helmet. And it takes 10 seconds, and you get 2 of them. If you get 1 right, you only get 3. What's that mean, Felger? That's extra 45. Just wait. Just wait for what's coming on that. A loose strike zone was, to me, not a big problem in the game. Just wasn't. Big problem in the game is the ball's in play. I mentioned this story, Wall Street Journal, on Doubles and triples. Headline: they're the most exciting plays in baseball, and they're going extinct. Doubles and triples have plummeted to their lowest levels in decades, and MLB is weighing drastic moves to bring them back. They write that MLB experienced a significant decline in doubles and triples in 2025, reaching the lowest rates since 1992 and 1989. While home runs continue to soar out of stadiums at near record levels, doubles and triples are disappearing from the sport at an alarming rate. Games in 2025, Mazz, featured an average of just 3.19 doubles, the fewest in an uninterrupted campaign since 1992. Nearly 800 doubles have vanished from the game over the course of this decade. And if doubles are an endangered species, triples are practically extinct. Ahead of the 2026 season, they say they have fallen to their lowest rate in MLB history.
Correct.
They write that doubles and triples are exactly the types of plays that baseball depends on to attract younger audiences craving excitement, which is why inside MLB offices, executives are paying close attention to the reduction in doubles and triples. The problem is that in the modern game, teams have become shockingly adept at putting their outfielders in the exact right place to prevent them. Outfielders across MLB now set up deeper than ever to ensure that fewer fly balls hit over their heads or split the alley for the sole purpose of limiting extra base hits. And unlike so many changes that have reshaped baseball, the insight comes straight from the data. Armed with mountains of numbers, teams have come to realize that giving up singles hardly matters. What they really want to avoid is damage. Isn't that a buzzword in baseball? When it says damage, we have to do damage. We have to avoid damage.
Slugging, right.
As a result, Mazz, center fielders with nobody on base have moved back 11 feet on average since 2015, they say.
Right.
They are 11 feet. They play 11 feet deeper than they did 10 years ago. Left and right fielders are 5 and 3 feet deeper, respectively. What used to be known as a no doubles defense has effectively become the standard alignment. And I'll just stop reading there. It's time for baseball to get that out of the game.
Yeah, it's like the nickel becoming standard in football. It's the same idea.
Illegal defense. There's illegal defense in basketball. There's illegal defense calls in most sports. It's time to institute more illegal defenses in baseball. You draw a trapezoid behind second base, so the grounder up the middle is once again a base hit. Forget about not only can you not shift, you can't line up your second baseman or your shortstop directly over second base. Get out of there. Trapezoid. And in the outfield, we're going to draw a line 10 feet, 15 feet, whatever, in front of the warning track, and you cannot line up behind that line. In fact, you can't even move until the ball's hit.
Something like that.
I'm not going to let you run back on the pitch. You're going to have to wait until the swing of the bat to move back there. And keep legislating the nerds out of the game. To me, that's the biggest issue.
Look, again, they got to put in some sort of thing in the outfield. That's a big one. I mean, not to nitpick or grasp at straws or hairs. Split hairs is what I'm saying. 10 feet in front of the warning track is too deep, I think. First of all, it's wherever they're playing 10 feet from there. So, because if they're all playing 10 feet deeper, well, then you got to bring them. In fact, I wouldn't do 10. I'd do 15.
Can I go one more? You can't bring cards out there that you pull out of your hat and reference. Out.
That should be out, too. Part of the challenge was knowing your stuff. So every guy on the football field doesn't get a play chart.
The quarterback gets one. The rest of them,
right?
You got to know the play, and if you can hear the ump or you can hear your manager or position coach from the dugout telling you to get back, fine. But you can't go back behind that line. No cards, no flip cards. Yes, Dondero. What?
It feels like micromanaging.
No, it doesn't.
Micromanaging.
It's saving the game. I'm saving the game.
But what if there is a no double situation? You still can't go beyond the line,
right?
And running. Did you say running before the
right,
swing?
so listen, I have a line. Mazz and I,
that's not true.
We'll call it the Felger Mazz line, is 15 feet in front of the warning track. Well, so what, they'll cheat. What they're going to do is the pitcher goes into the windup and he just takes off and runs backwards.
But what if the ball's hit shallow?
Well, then he gives up a single. They're already willing to give up the single.
They don't care about giving up the singles. That's right.
So, again, think about it from the other side. Like you said, everybody wants launch angle.
Yeah.
Why? Because of home runs and extra base hits. Okay, so the defense is going to want to take those away, which means there won't. The whole reason for the shift was to take away a single. That's what it was. The shift was to prevent that ground ball from going through the infield. So it took the single out of the game. The thing in center field is they're willing to give you the blooper. You can have all the bloopers you want because you're going to have to have 4 of them to score.
This is all just taking the game away from the analysts. The outfielders are exactly where they have to be because they input all the effing data into the computer, and it says stand there. So we're trying to take the computer back out of the game.
I know, but it's a lot easier to hit a blooper, get one off the fist, dump it in there. Now we can steal second a little bit easier. And if you're
then how come everyone's swinging for home runs?
Well, because that's what they teach you now.
Well, this is what I'm telling you.
That's why that stuff needs to change. And I know it's probably way too institutional.
The game won't do it on its own. Okay. Meaning the players won't do it on their own. The analysts won't do it on their own.
This is just a means to get that analytical stuff out of the game.
Yes.
Or to change it so they have to start over.
Because you can't throw anybody out if you're playing that deep. So if you get guys on base, then that would have to move in some of the outfielders.
State of the game on the eve of the Major League opener, which again, shall I mention, is on Netflix. That'll back to your calls on this right after this word.